Hey awesome ones, so many of us are staying at home a lot more during this virus outbreak, and we're also trying really hard to do less runs to the grocery store. Now that doesn't mean going to the grocery store once and buying up everything you can and really hoarding things. Like, I was actually astonished. Like, Bill, we went to the grocery store just yesterday, and here are some of the shelves that we saw. I mean, they were empty. You couldn't get chicken. You couldn't get pasta. There were so many things that you couldn't get. So what I wanted to do with this video is say, if you can get some foods, let's see if we can make them stretch a little. And my ideas, they just start in just a few seconds. So my number one suggestion is stop buying the frozen entrees. You know, the frozen entrees for 1 or 2. Those aren't going to last, and again, if you've got a big freezer, you're hoarding probably too many of them. So we want to make sure that we're really helping each other out in this. And so what I would suggest is something like what I did last night, right, Bill?
Oh, absolutely.
We had a full whole chicken, and so we had the whole chicken, and what we're also going to have are fajitas. So I have, the salsa and the wraps and the hot sauce and the sour cream to make fajitas out of it. Also for a lunch, I've got some sandwich bread, so I'm going to make like a chicken salad sandwich, and also I want to make a chicken fettuccine out of that chicken as well. So I mean, whether you use chicken or turkey or beef or even tofu, what you want to buy is buy enough and make sure that you're using some of your leftovers. Now, if you're using something like a big turkey, remember that if you're very careful and you get rid of all the air, you can also freeze, a lot of the white meat and that sort of thing for turkey. And hey, don't forget the soups as well. You can make soups out of everything. So if you're thinking to yourself, well, I could do a lot of different leftovers, remember to look at the recipes first and make a list of what you need. Don't forget things like maybe some of those chicken stock packets, and again, you might need rice or noodles or whatever you need to make the leftovers. So make a list, check it twice. So number 2 is buy frozen vegetables and not so many of the fresh. And I know there's nothing better than the crunch of a nice fresh green bean that you just lightly cooked. But these are different kind of days, and I really, a lot of these vegetables, these green vegetables especially, are flash frozen, so they taste pretty good. And for me, I like them a lot better than the canned vegetables. So make sure we're trying to cut back on the trips to the grocery store. You can still buy some fresh green beans, but as you know, they don't last too long in your fridge, where this lasts a lot longer in your freezer. So number 3, let's talk about fruit. And you can again get fruit in frozen form, and again it's flash frozen. Let's make sure we buy a lot of fruit that have the antioxidants like blueberries and strawberries. And talking about that, another way that you can use these frozen fruit is in a smoothie, but make sure maybe you want to check the instructions on your blender, because not all blenders really can safely grind something that's frozen like this. The other thing that I like to do is before I make a smoothie, I usually like to put a little water in the blender, maybe a little bit of orange juice, and then I put the frozen items in and I let them sit for a little bit. And I have a Vitamix, so I know it's going to grind right through, but if you do that, you can have less chance of having any problems with your blender. So one thing that I find is romaine lettuce, and even especially the iceberg lettuce, it tends to last a little bit longer in my crisper in my freezer, or sorry, in my fridge. But I really love, those salad dressings that you buy that are in the refrigerator section? Well, You know, I figured out a way the other day to make my own, and what I decided to do was kind of a Caesar dressing, and I basically just took some olive oil, I took a little bit of mayonnaise, I added some Parmesan cheese, and I added a little bit of garlic, and it was and a little sprinkle of cracked pepper. It was absolutely delicious. And there's other kinds of salad dressings that you can make as well. You could make a balsamic vinegar, dressing using olive oil, and I like to add a little bit of sugar to the mix as well. So, there's also French dressing. Hey, go online. There's all kinds of recipes for these kind of dressings. You can make them as you need them, and it also will save some money as well. Now, my mom used to do this in the old days, and what she would do is she would buy up bread when it was on sale, and she would put it in the freezer. Now, a lot of us don't have the big freezers that our moms used to have back in the old days, but what I did was I bought 2 loaves of, I really like the 14 grains kind of bread. And what I did was, as soon as I got it home, I put it in the refrigerator. And I also bought a fresh bread as well. But as I said, I'm trying to limit the amount of times I go to the grocery store, so I certainly won't have to go there for bread. And it's just a great way to have it on hand. And you can also do this with English muffins as well. And you can have them a little longer than the expiry date on them. So as most of you know, dark chocolate is an antioxidant, yay! So I made sure that I bought 2 boxes of these dark chocolate cookies, and also what I did is I bought the refrigerator cookies as well that I could make up. And actually I've got a daughter and a brother-in-law that have birthdays coming up, so I'm going to make one of those big kind of cookie pies, I think they're called. So that's another idea that you can do with this. And this has an expiry date. It goes in the refrigerator and it's like 3 months from now. So that's going to keep for sure. So number 7 is don't forget your fur babies. And we get this from a pet store, and it's a special kind of Yorkie food for our little fur baby Hurricane. And he's only 6 pounds and he's 8 now. He's eaten this all of his life, and there's no way, if the pet stores are all closed and we can't get it, that he can eat people food. So just remember, again, I'm trying to say not to hoard, but make sure you have enough food for your little dogs to get through this. So number 8, this is a good time to refresh on how to do cooking and also how to do baking. And yeah, you know what, you can make your own pancakes. You don't have to get the frozen pancakes or all the frozen waffles, that sort of thing. And French toast is also really delicious. Now, if you're going to do some baking or cooking, remember, look at those recipes first. Make sure that you check your pantry. Do you have the items? Do you need the items? Because it always happens that you forget the vanilla or you forget the baking powder. So number 9 is make your own snacks. The last thing you want to do is go to the grocery store and maybe you're kind of emotional and you pick out all the chips and all the dips and all the sodas, everything. Well, there's a better way to do things. First of all, don't go when you're hungry, but also you could make microwave popcorn just using a jar like this of popcorn. You put a little bit in, I put a lid on top of it, and then I microwave it. I think it's between 2.5 and 3 minutes. And then when that comes out, the popcorn's all done, I might decide to put Parmesan cheese on top, or I might be able to, another nice taste is it's almost like a caramel corn when you put real maple syrup on top. These are all good things for you. Or you can use like a Cajun spice, and don't forget to buy some nuts. If you really need to snack, there's mixed nuts, there's cashews, and also maybe pick up some dried cranberries or other kinds of dried fruit, because if you mix the 2 of these together, and I suggest mixing them as you go, they make a great healthy snack, and we want you to keep well as well. So number 10, I can't believe we're on number 10 already, but is get all those healthy cookbooks that you have out, or maybe purchase one online and start I've got an air fryer, that's another healthy way to eat. And make sure that you're making up a list before you go shopping. So take a look at what you want to cook for the next 2 weeks at least, and then look at your pantry, see what you've got, what you need, write down, breakfast, lunch, dinner, write everything down so that you're not saying, oh my gosh, I completely forgot to get this or this or this. You can always make maybe a little run to a corner store, but you really want to limit your major grocery shopping to maybe every 2 or 3 weeks. Now I know these are changing times, but you know what? We're all in this together. We're the big community of the world really right now, and so let's really help each other out. And I was thinking about, well, first of all, when you go grocery shopping, do your social distancing. You don't need to be right beside somebody. Even if you see a neighbor, do kind of an air high five and just keep your distance from each other. That's so important. But also, Bill's mom is really lucky. We live 2 minutes away from her, and his brother is with her as well. She's 95 years old. And we have to really make sure that, we're doing a lot of self-distancing and isolating so that we don't bring anything to her. And the other thing is, there might be people on the street where you live that are older people that are afraid to go out and go grocery shopping right now. They're really terrified that they might get this virus. So if you know them, if you've got their phone number, or you might want to just sort of say to them, knock on the door, keep your distance, and sort of say, hey, I'm here if you need any groceries. And then all you need to do is just knock on the door after you bring them back for them. And this is the way we can all help one another. And as I said, we're all in this together, and all of you out there, all of the people that I already know, just let's talk in amongst the comments together. Let's all tell each other where we're from and how we're doing. We're a community here at Awesome Over 50 Inspiration, and we can really be there for each other. So I really, I want to give you all a big virtual hug right now and tell you that, I want you to keep safe. I want you to keep healthy. And remember, this too will pass.